Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships. Now, those of you who watch my channel on a regular basis know that I am a community contributor for World of Warships Legends, which is the console cousin to World of Warships on PC. But from time to time, I like to take out some ships on World of Warships PC and play around with them. As you can see, I've managed to grind to the Tier 10 Russian battleship, the Kremlin, and today we're taking it out into the ongoing Brawl battles that are taking place on World of Warships. These Brawl battles are essentially 9v9, just like the regular battles on World of Warships Legends, and they're restricted to only destroyers, cruisers, and battleships. And because of the fact that there are less ships in this Brawl mode than there are in standard battles on World of Warships, and also because of the fact that aircraft carriers and submarines are nowhere to be found within these random battles, it's just the three classic classes, destroyer, cruiser, and battleship. Well, I think having had some experience with the meta on World of Warships PC at high tiers and standard battles, I think these Brawl battles for this iteration of this Brawl mode are absolutely fantastic. I think the reduction in ship count is great, and I think the lack of CVs and submarines to terrorize the surface ships is also quite nice. And, furthermore, the Kremlin was my first Tier 10 battleship in World of Warships on PC, and I found taking it out into the standard battles that it didn't really seem to fit the meta. Turns out you really need to push in close to get the Kremlin to work very well. It doesn't have very long range on its guns. It's restricted to just above 20 kilometers, I think. Looks like 20.7, whereas many of the other Tier 10 battleships have a lot more range than this. And as a consequence, it's just a lot more effective when it pushes in. It's got God-tier armor. It doesn't seem to be able to be citadeled even when giving flat broadside thanks to the angles at which the armor sits. It's just wonderful. But it's only wonderful if you can push in and make it work. And this game mode is absolutely fantastic for doing just that. You can see that our team has deployed across the map in two ways. Some of them are heading for the Alpha Cap. The rest of them, including our gearing here right in front of us, are headed for Charlie. So, as I always say in World of Warships Legends, and I think it's equally true here, your job, if you see a destroyer playing the objective, is to support that destroyer. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do with respect to this gearing. We've also got the Minotaur in front of us. He should be able to provide a little bit of support. And as far as we can tell, there's a Yoshino out there near Bravo. Bravo is being flipped, likely due to one of the enemy destroyers. And we've just lost a cruiser, so things aren't necessarily off to a great start. The Alpha Cap is also turning red, so it looks like by every indication the enemy is going to acquire that one as well. There's only a Smolensk near that Alpha Cap to potentially prevent anybody from capping it, but he can't very well do that on his own. And to make matters worse, a Salem has appeared just behind this island. He has used, I believe, his radar there to spot the gearing, and he is now shooting at the gearing. That is not something we can allow to happen. We really need the gearing to take this capture circle. Napoli briefly spotted as well. Doesn't look like we have shots on the Salem, so we're going to line them up on the Napoli. And here, in this sequence, you're going to see just how powerful the Kremlin can be in this Brawl mode. It's absolutely fantastic. We're able to citadel the Napoli there as he turns in, and that is when the Salem decides he's no longer going to stay behind the cover of that island. Instead, he'd like to come out and fight us directly. Now, I'm not entirely familiar with the Salem's armor profile, but I am pretty sure the Kremlin's 457mm guns can overmatch it everywhere. Trying to aim for where I think the Citadel is, not quite hitting it, but still dealing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, some dangerous red fishes come across the screen and nearly catch us in the bow. Those are courtesy of the Shimakaze, who is just deployed a smoke screen over there to the left of the screen, but we can't be too concerned about that Shima. We need to take down this Salem. We were presenting a bit too wide of an angle for the Salem, and as you can see, his armor piercing is taking a toll right into our bow. Luckily, our teammates help us finish him off there, and we can move forward. We don't want to stay near this gap, given there's a very angry smoke screen shooting at us, and there may very well be more torpedoes on the way. So we're going to move up closer to this island in front of us. The Napoli has torpedoes, but they're those floating Italian sea mines, so I don't regard them as too much of a threat, and I don't regard the Napoli as much of a threat if he wants to give that much broadside. Of course, he doesn't get punished for it, but what can you do? That is RNG. In any case, the enemy Montana, a little further ahead of the Napoli, is going to go around that corner, and the Napoli is going to follow him shortly after, which should result in us going unspotted, and then hopefully we'll be able to finish securing this cap without being reset further. You can see that we've already acquired a lot of capture points, but since we keep getting shot, we keep getting reset. Another shot into the Napoli's broadside, and once more we are disappointed with the results. But we've lost a lot of hit points. We're down to about half health now, thanks to our push into this cap, and we have just secured the cap. Those lost hit points, of course, kick the adrenaline rush skill into action, so I think we're enjoying something like a 26-second reload right now, which is very nice and gives us the opportunity to once again attempt to punish the Napoli's broadside, and finally it works. He goes down for our first kill of the game. Now the enemy Shima is still in the area. You can see the Smolensk that was at Alpha earlier has done the smart thing and retreated back toward the rest of our team. Meanwhile, it looks like a Vermont is sailing on a course toward that Alpha cap. He's not likely to get there very quickly. We do take some unfortunate torpedoes right in the nose, thanks again to that Shimakaze. Frankly, I'm shocked that he was able to get the torpedoes through that gap, but what are you going to do? In any case, we certainly don't want to push forward anymore. We definitely can't afford to take any more Shimakaze torpedoes, so we're going to go to the side of the island here. Those, I think, will be the Napoli's torpedoes. Floating Italian sea mines indeed. They took an awfully long time to reach this point on the map, but we're going to try to go around and get some shots into this Montana. He's at full health, and his position is potentially going to make it a little bit complicated for our Minotaur and the other ships following us to get into that Bravo cap, which is their goal. Now, the Minotaur pings me to get back, probably because the Shima is lurking around here, and to be fair, I don't plan to linger here. I just wanted to try to get some damage into this Montana while I still could, but I do plan to turn out and then turn all the way around and retreat. Don't want to be pushing into that Shima. Don't really want to be pushing into the Montana either. I just want to see if I can get some damage. In any case, I really like this Brawl game mode. I like this 9v9 format. It reminds me very much of World of Warships Legends, which is, of course, my forte. In fact, the only thing that really differentiates this Brawl mode from World of Warships Legends is the fact that it is full of Tier 10 ships that don't actually exist, at least not yet, in that game. But it also enjoys the standard PC matchmaking parameters in that they are 20-minute matches, the spawns are sort of in the center of the map, and frankly, I would like to potentially see this game mode brought into World of Warships Legends in this form, actually. I think it could make for a bit of a spicy change of pace if the battles could be 20 minutes long and the spawns could be far to the back center of the map, allowing all of the 9 ships to deploy into various directions at their own discretion. I think that might open up a lot of interesting gameplay possibilities, as it does on PC here in the Brawl mode. It certainly is much more conducive to getting up close and having more action-packed games than you might otherwise in the standard battles. I don't know, I had a lot of fun in it. Not quite, well, certainly more fun than this Montana is having. He takes a torpedo from one of our teammates there. We're going to follow up with a shot on him. Shimakaze still lurking around there, but we should be safe from his torpedoes, and in fact, I think there they are. Now, how on earth that was a citadel into that angled Montana, I am not actually sure, but I'll take it. Meanwhile, our team has managed to flip the Bravo cap, although it is starting to turn red now, courtesy, I believe, of the enemy Holland, whose last known location was on the border of the Bravo cap, and now he appears to be inside of it, trying to take it. Meanwhile, another Montana is pushing in near the Bravo cap. Looks like he might potentially have shots on our Minotaur over there, as well as the retreating Thunderer. So, as we're sailing away from this Montana, who started this engagement, I should add, at full health, and now is certainly not at full health, we're going to begin to make a turn through this gap between the islands here to see what we can do about the other enemy Montana, who appears to be at about half health. I can't tell if the Minotaur directly in front of us is attempting to fight that Montana in open water, but if he is, he's not likely to last very long. Meanwhile, we do see the torpedoes that I assume are from the Holland. They sail past us harmlessly, so we should be okay to push out here. We just need to be cautious. Actually, I think the Holland has been dispensed with, so it's only the Shimakaze left, and he's way on the other side of the map. So we're actually quite good to push in relatively safely here, if not for the Smolensk we just spotted out there. He might make our push a little bit more complicated. The Montana, however, is retreating. The other Montana has gone down. So this is the final remaining enemy battleship. It is 5 versus 4. The points are still in the enemy team's favor, thanks to their early cap control. But now that we've secured 2 out of 3 of the caps, our victory conditions are more or less secured. All my team has to do is not die, which shouldn't be, I would think, too terribly difficult, given the retreat of that Montana over there, and the fact that we've got a Moskva up north, which is an incredibly well-armored cruiser, so he should get along just fine. Well, I do say the Moskva is incredibly well-armored so long as you're not giving broadside. Now, if you are giving broadside and a Kremlin shoots at you from 14 kilometers away, well, you can expect to lose basically all of your hit points and be a one-shot kill for whatever that ship is behind me. It looks like the friendly Smolensk firing at the Moskva, but plot twist, it is the friendly Moskva that takes out the enemy Moskva, and that just leaves the Montana and the Shimakaze left. We are now ahead of the enemy on points, so all we have to do to bring this game to a wrap is not die, and if we can, we would like to take out the enemy Montana and even the Shimakaze, perhaps pad our damage numbers a little bit. We're sitting at 200,000 damage done, and we could potentially get just a little bit more to make our stats look good at the end of this Brawl battle. In any case, though, I really like the format of this Brawl battle, and I honestly wish it was a permanent part of World of Warships on PC, because then I would play this game a lot more. I've had a lot more fun in this battle than I have had in the standard battles, mostly due to the incredibly passive meta. It seems like this sort of setup here is actually conducive to a meta that really allows you to push, and really allows ships like Kremlin, which I think are probably fairly mediocre in the standard battles, to really shine in a game mode where they can push in and they can be effective. I think if not for our rampage through the Charlie cap and our assistance in taking that cap, well, I don't think we'd necessarily be in the same position we are right now, and I think the win would be a lot less likely. These incoming Shimakaze torpedoes are potentially going to make the win less likely as well. Hopefully we can get one more shot on this Montana before they hit us. One hits and the second hits, but it's not actually enough to sink us, so we are still alive. The Shima has launched all his torpedoes. We get a good shot there into the Montana. He's essentially a one-shot kill for anybody, and at any moment we should drop spot. Meanwhile, Minotaur, who apparently is a radar Minotaur, comes around the corner, deploys his radar. There's the Shimakaze. Shimakaze stands no chance, but the Shima is spotting the Minotaur, so I don't want the Montana to take him out. So I shoot at the Montana as the Minotaur takes out the Shima. Montana is nearly dead, and one more shot from one of our teammates is going to wrap it up. So we finish the game with 231,000 damage done and nearly 2,300 base XP, which I think is an excellent result. And again, I think this game mode is pretty fun. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, whether you play World of Warships PC primarily, or whether you play Legends primarily. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.